Liam, a street violinist with big dreams, meets Maddie, a girl with a broken guitar and an unshakable love for music. A small act of kindness sparks an unexpected partnership, leading them from street corners to packed concert halls. Their journey proves that talent and compassion can change everything. On a bustling city street where car horns and hurried footsteps create a chaotic symphony, Liam's violin sings a different tune. Perched on a weathered stool near a busy intersection, he draws the bow across the strings with practiced precision. The worn wood of his instrument gleams faintly under the streetlights, its sound both haunting and hopeful. Pedestrians slow as the melodies take hold, some pausing just long enough to toss coins into the open case at his feet. A gust of wind touzles Liam's dark hair, but he doesn't falter. His fingers dance across the strings, weaving a story only the music can tell. A small crowd begins to gather, a woman clutching her grocery bag, a man in a tailored suit glancing at his watch, a pair of teenagers sharing a set of headphones. For a moment their disparate lives align, bound by the aching beauty of his music. "Play that one again," a voice calls from the edge of the crowd. Liam glances up, his expression a mix of surprise and quiet pride. A child, no older than 7, is pointing at him with a wide grin. Without missing a beat, Liam shifts into the requested melody, his bow gliding smoothly. The child claps along, their joy cutting through the city's indifference. A sudden gust threatens to scatter the few bills in his case, and Liam quickly steadies them with his foot, his gaze flicking around. A man nearby shakes his head and moves on without dropping anything. Undeterred, Liam's focus returns to his playing, the city's chaos fading into the background. To him, these streets are a stage, and the melodies are his lifeline to something larger, something beyond the grind of this relentless urban maze. As the evening sky melted into shades of deep blue, Liam drew his bow across the strings one last time. The haunting melody resonated through the dimly lit street, pulling a few stragglers from their hurried paths. The final note lingered, soft yet commanding, as the small crowd began to disperse. Liam exhaled and leaned back on his stool, rubbing his fingers, sore from hours of playing. "Excuse me?" a voice called, hesitant but clear. Liam turned to see a young woman stepping forward from the shadows. Her auburn hair caught the glow of a nearby lamppost, and her wide eyes held a mix of admiration and uncertainty. "That was incredible," she began, her words tumbling out in a rush. "I've never heard anything like it. You play with so much emotion. It's like the violin is alive." Liam smiled faintly, setting the bow across his lap. "Thanks," he said simply, accustomed to the occasional compliment, though something about her earnestness made this one feel different. She hesitated, clutching a worn guitar case tightly in both hands. "I've always wanted to play like that," she admitted, her voice softening. "Not violin, I mean. Guitar. I used to play, but—" Her gaze dropped to the case, and she laughed nervously. "It's been broken for a while now. Repairs cost more than I can afford." Liam glanced at the case, its frayed edges and battered surface telling their own story. He recognized the hunger in her expression, the same longing that had kept him coming back to this corner night after night. "You don't have another one?" he asked, already guessing the answer. She shook her head. "No, this was my first and only. It's been in the closet for months now, and every time I see it I just—" She trailed off, looking up at him with an embarrassed smile. "Sorry. I don't know why I'm telling you all this." "Maybe because you know I'd understand," Liam said, his tone quiet but steady. He reached down into his violin case, sifting through the scattered coins and crumpled bills. Without hesitation, he scooped up the day's earnings and held them out to her. Her eyes widened. "What are you doing?" she asked, taking a step back. "Take it," Liam said firmly. "Get it fixed. Music isn't meant to sit in a closet." She stared at the money, her hands frozen at her sides. "I can't. That's yours. You earned it. And I'm giving it to you," he replied, his voice leaving no room for argument. "You'll pay me back someday, just not with money. Play something that matters." Maddie hesitated, her breath catching in her throat. Then, with trembling hands, she took the cash. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll play again," Liam said with a small smile, already reaching for his violin to pack up for the night. Maddie clutched the money to her chest, her gratitude unspoken but palpable as she stood there, watching the young musician who had given her hope. A few days later, the familiar sound of Liam's violin filled the bustling street. He was lost in the music, the crowd around him fading into a blur. As he played, a figure emerged from the flow of pedestrians, stepping closer with hesitant excitement. "Liam!" a voice called, clear and bright. He looked up, his bow pausing mid-stroke. Maddie stood before him, her eyes alight with joy, clutching a restored guitar. The once frayed case now gleamed with polished hinges, and the instrument inside looked like it had been brought back to life. "You fixed it," Liam said, lowering his violin. He couldn't hide the smile tugging at his lips. "I did, thanks to you," Maddie replied, her voice trembling with gratitude. She lifted the guitar, gently strumming the strings. A warm, resonant chord filled the air. "It sounds even better than I remembered." Liam nodded toward the stool beside him. "Let's hear it, then." Maddie hesitated, then sat down, adjusting the guitar in her lap. She began to play, her fingers brushing the strings with both skill and emotion. The melody was hesitant at first, like a bird testing its wings, but it quickly grew confident and clear. Liam joined in, weaving the soulful voice of his violin into the rhythm of her chords. Passers-by stopped, forming a growing semicircle around the impromptu duet. Maddie's cheeks flushed as the music swelled, but she didn't falter. The blend of strings and harmonies felt effortless, as if they had been playing together for years. When the final note hung in the air, the small crowd erupted into applause. Maddie looked at Liam, her breath quick, a mix of surprise and exhilaration on her face. "I can't believe that just happened," she said, laughing softly. Liam tilted his head, grinning. "I think we make a good team." Maddie nodded, her voice soft but resolute. "I promised myself that if I ever got this guitar fixed, I'd use it to create something meaningful. And now, I think I'm finally ready." Their shared smile held unspoken agreement, the beginnings of a partnership neither had seen coming. Months passed, and the rhythm of Liam's street performances became a familiar routine. Occasionally, Maddie joined him, her guitar slung over her shoulder, as they drew small crowds with their spontaneous duets. Their connection deepened with each shared note, the harmonies a testament to their growing bond. One evening, as Liam packed up his violin case under the amber glow of a street lamp, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He glanced at the screen, an unfamiliar number. Curious, he opened the message. "Seeking musicians for a new band. Auditions tomorrow at 7 p.m. Looking for a violinist and guitarist for innovative fusion work. Reply if interested." Liam frowned, rereading the message. It was unexpected. He had never considered himself a band musician. The streets were his stage. Yet something about the phrasing, innovative fusion, piqued his interest. Before he could overthink it, Maddie appeared, her breath visible in the cool night air. "Another great set," she said, her smile as easy as ever. The crowd loved it. Liam held up his phone. "Check this out." He handed it to her, watching her expression shift from curiosity to wide-eyed excitement. "A band audition?" she asked, her voice climbing with enthusiasm. "This is perfect. You have to go." Liam shrugged. "I don't know. I'm not really a band guy, and I doubt they're looking for street performers." Maddie's brow furrowed. "Are you kidding? You're amazing, and your violin adds something no one else has. Plus, look, they're looking for a guitarist too. We've already got the chemistry." She grinned, giving him a playful nudge. "Let's go together. What do we have to lose?" Liam hesitated, the weight of uncertainty tugging at him. "I don't know, Maddie. This kind of thing, it's not really my world." Maddie leaned closer, her tone softening but still insistent. "Neither of us fits into the worlds people expect. That's why we make music, because we don't have to. Come on, Liam. We're already a team. Let's see where this could go." Her determination was infectious, and Liam found himself nodding despite his doubts. "All right," he said, tucking his violin case under his arm. "Let's give it a shot." Maddie beamed, her excitement lighting up the night. "We're going to knock their socks off," she declared, already planning their strategy for the audition. The audition room buzzed with nervous energy, but when Liam's violin soared above Maddie's rhythmic guitar, the room fell silent. By the time they finished, the other musicians exchanged impressed glances. "You're in," one of them finally said, a wide grin breaking across his face. "Welcome to the band." The thrill of being accepted was short-lived. Rehearsals quickly consumed every spare hour, and it wasn't long before reality hit. After a grueling 6-hour practice one evening, Liam slumped into a chair, his fingers aching from playing. "We need better equipment," one bandmate muttered, frustrated. "This stuff barely holds together." "And money," another added. "Without funding, we're stuck playing to tiny crowds forever." Maddie, wiping sweat from her brow, tried to stay optimistic. "People are starting to notice us," she said, but her smile faltered when Liam shot her a tired look. "That's great," he said, his voice edged with exhaustion. "But noticing us doesn't pay rent. I can't keep splitting my time between this and the streets." "None of us can," Maddie admitted, her shoulders dropping. Still, she caught his gaze. "But we've got something real, Liam. People are talking. We just need to hold on a little longer." As the band packed up for the night, the tension hung heavy. The spark of hope from the audition had ignited something, but the path forward felt like walking a tightrope. A year of relentless practice, late-night gigs, and small victories led to this moment. Liam adjusted the shoulder rest of his violin, glancing at Maddie as they stood backstage. The muffled sound of a roaring crowd seeped through the curtains. The city's largest music festival awaited them. "Ready?" Maddie asked, gripping her guitar tightly. Her voice wavered, but her eyes gleamed with determination. "Not really," Liam admitted, a nervous chuckle escaping him. He twirled his bow between his fingers, then looked at her. "But let's do it anyway." Their bandmates gave them quick nods of encouragement as the stage manager gestured for them to take their places. The lights dimmed and the audience quieted. Maddie stepped forward, striking the first chord on her guitar. The haunting introduction rippled through the open air, capturing the attention of thousands. Liam joined in, his violin weaving around Maddie's melody like a dancer following a lead. As the music swelled, their unique blend of classical and modern sounds created an energy that was impossible to ignore. The crowd erupted, clapping and swaying to the beat. Halfway through the set, Maddie leaned into her mic, her voice steady and vibrant as she introduced the next song. "This one's for anyone who's ever dreamed of something bigger. Don't stop chasing it." She shot Liam a quick smile before launching into the piece, her passion igniting the band. By the time they played their final note, the crowd's cheers were deafening. Liam exchanged a stunned glance with Maddie, the moment sinking in. They had done it. Backstage, a festival organizer approached them, his expression excited. "That was incredible," he said. "You've got something special. I'll be in touch. People need to hear more of this." As they celebrated, Maddie pulled Liam aside. "This doesn't happen without you. she said, her voice brimming with sincerity. "You believed in me when I didn't. Now, we're here." Liam shrugged, a smile tugging at his lips. "You gave me as much as I gave you. This is just the beginning." The city buzzed with the sound of their music. Liam and Maddie's band had become a sensation, their songs now staples on local radio stations. Posters announcing their upcoming shows plastered walls, and fans hummed their tunes in coffee shops and parks. Sitting in a sleek conference room, they signed their first record deal. The label's representative shook their hands enthusiastically. "You're the sound we've been waiting for," he said. Maddie exchanged a quick glance with Liam, her smile barely containing her excitement. Despite the whirlwind, they stayed grounded. Late one evening, after a sold-out performance, Maddie grabbed Liam's arm. "Let's go back to where it started," she said, her eyes sparkling with nostalgia. Minutes later, they stood on the same street corner where Liam used to play his violin for spare change. Maddie slung her guitar over her shoulder, and Liam drew his bow across the strings. The simple melody, raw and heartfelt, drew a small crowd. A child clapped excitedly, just as someone once had for Liam. As their notes faded, Maddie grinned. "This feels right." Liam nodded, his gaze on the city lights. Success hadn't changed their music soul. It had amplified it. The stage lights dimmed as the final notes of their encore faded. The audience erupted into applause, a sea of cheering faces stretching into the dark. Maddie stepped forward, her guitar still slung across her shoulder. She raised her hand, quieting the crowd just enough to speak. "I want to share something," she began, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. "Not so long ago, I was a girl with a broken guitar and no way to fix it. I thought my dream was over before it had even begun. But someone believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself." She turned, catching Liam's gaze. "Liam, you didn't just give me the means to play again. You gave me hope." The crowd roared its approval, and Liam hesitated before stepping up to the microphone. "Maddie's being modest," he said, his voice carrying warmth. "She's the heart of this band. But she's right about one thing. Success isn't just about talent. It's about people. It's about seeing someone's dream and helping them build it, even when you don't know where it will lead." Maddie leaned toward the mic again, smiling. "And that's why we're here tonight. Not just because of music, but because of the kindness that made it possible." The audience fell into a thoughtful hush before breaking into thunderous applause.